There was a time when cars weren't just built, they were crafted. When metal had weight, engines had soul, and every sound from the hood told a story. These were the machines that didn't quit. They were loud, stubborn, and built to last long after the odometer stopped counting. Today, we're looking back at 9 legendary car engines from 1950 to 2000. Engines that refused to die. So buckle up, because this ride goes straight down memory lane. 1. The small block Chevy, the heartbeat of America, from 1955 to 2003. It started in 1955 with just 265 cubic inches, but it didn't take long before the Chevy small block became a legend. This engine powered everything, from family sedans to drag racers, and it did it with a smile. It was simple, reliable, and easy to fix, which made it the perfect canvas for hot rodders across America. Even today, you'll find them humming along in old pickup trucks and street rods. It faded only when emissions laws and new tech caught up, but its spirit, that never really left. 2. Chrysler Hemi 426, the elephant in the room, from 1964 to 1971. They called it the elephant for a reason: big, heavy, and full of power. The 426 Hemi wasn't just an engine, it was a statement. Born for NASCAR, it became a street legend in cars like the Dodge Charger and Plymouth Barracuda. Its hemispherical combustion chambers made it breathe better than anything else on the road. It disappeared when gas prices rose and rules tightened, but every gearhead still whispers its name with respect. 3. Ford 302 Windsor, the Blue Oval's workhorse, from 1968 to 2001. From the Mustang to the F-150, the 302 Windsor powered a generation. It wasn't flashy, just tough, steady, and ready for anything. It carried the American family through road trips, job sites, and the drag strip alike. Over 3 decades, it evolved but never lost its heartbeat. When it finally retired in 2001, it felt like saying goodbye to an old friend. 4. Pontiac V8 389, born to run, from 1959 to 1966. This was the heartbeat of the Pontiac GTO, the car that kicked off the muscle era. The 389 V8 wasn't just powerful, it was soulful. It gave young drivers in the 60s a taste of freedom they'd never forget. It wasn't built for efficiency, but it was built to make memories. When emissions rules hit in the 70s, it faded out, leaving behind a roar that still echoes. 5. Mercedes-Benz Inline 6, the million-mile motor, from 1950s to 1990s. If German engineering had a signature, this was it. The Mercedes Straight 6 ran so smooth you could balance a coin on the valve cover. Taxis, coupes, and sedans all trusted it for hundreds of thousands of miles. Its precision and balance became the gold standard for smoothness. When computers and emissions took over, it quietly stepped aside, but it never truly broke down. 6. Toyota 2JZ GTE, the bulletproof beast, from 1991 to 2002. By the 90s, Japan had entered the race, and Toyota's 2JZ became the crown jewel. Twin turbos, iron block, and a reputation for handling ridiculous amounts of power. Even stock, it was smooth and fast. Tuned, it became a monster. The Super made it famous, but the legend lived in garages worldwide. It ended in 2002, but car fans still call it one of the strongest engines ever made. 7. Pontiac V8 389, born to run, from 1959 to 1966. This was the heartbeat of the Pontiac GTO, the car that kicked off the muscle era. The 389 V8 wasn't just powerful, it was soulful. It gave young drivers in the 60s a taste of freedom they'd never forget. It wasn't built for efficiency, but it was built to make memories. When emissions rules hit in the 70s, it faded out, leaving behind a roar that still echoes. 8. BMW M20 Inline 6, the smooth operator, from 1977 to 1993. For those who loved to drive, the BMW M20 was poetry in motion. It gave the 3 Series and 5 Series their silky character, smooth, eager, and just a little bit refined. It wasn't the most powerful, but it had balance, that perfect mix of response and reliability. It made commuters feel like race car drivers, and race car drivers feel civilized. When BMW moved on to more modern engines, the M20 quietly retired, but its DNA lives on. 9. Honda B Series, Rev to the Moon, from 1989 to 2001. If you grew up in the 90s, you know this one. The Honda B Series taught an entire generation what VTEC meant. High revving joy in a small, dependable package. It was light, responsive, and loved to scream past 8,000 RPM. From Civics to Integras, it was the soundtrack of every late-night drive. It ended in 2001, but it left behind a loyal following that still keeps these engines alive today. Engines come and go, but some, they live forever. They remind us of Sunday drives with the windows down, of grease-stained hands and open roads. They weren't just machines, they were memories, cast in iron and chrome. If you enjoyed this trip through time, give this video a like, share it with a fellow car lover, and subscribe for more stories from the golden age of motoring. Because here on Black and White America, we don't just remember the past, we keep it running.